people of the plateau lived in a small region that included the southern interior of BC and Alberta. They arrived in the plateau country from the south approximately 10,000 years ago as the glaciers retreated northward. This region is divided into 8 main plateaus.
The plateau people live in a small part of BC and Alberta. There are 3 rivers in this region: the Thomas River, the McKenzie River, and the Fraser River.
The people of the plateau spoke 3 main languages. There are 2 First Nations groups of the people of the plateau. The first group is the Salish, who lived in the southern part of British Columbia and on Vancouver Island. The second group is the Coast Salish, who lived in the southern coast of the province. The other group, the Interior Salish, lived farther inland.
The plateau people held ceremonies throughout the year to mark special occasions. One important time of the year for the plateau people was the arrival of spring. They held celebrations at the start of spring to mark the first salmon run of the appearance of the first berries. The ceremony involved lots of music and dancing, which both used to sum up religion's powers. It was mainly singing, but they used other instruments too, like bird bone flutes, rattles, stick-striking boards, and hide-covered wooden drums.
The clothing that the plateau people wore was sewn from the tanned hides of animals and woven from the local grasses or from the pounded bark of bushes. Moccasins were most often made out of deer hide and occasionally from salmon skin. In the winter, they wore thick skins of fur-bearing animals. Sometimes they decorated the clothing with shells, ochre paint, or porcupine quill. The place the plateau people lived in had boreal forests, mostly coniferous trees, and many waterways. Some of the largest and most important lakes are in this region. The summers are hot and dry, and the winters are cold.
The plateau people hunted for coyote, fox, raccoon, beaver, hare, bear, salmon, deer, and many more.
One type of shelter the plateau people lived in was the teepee. This was usually shelter in the summer, above ground, and the same as the plains people. The only difference is that the teepees are made of tulle reed mats. Another form of shelter was the lean-tos. They are a temporary shelter made out of poles and tulle brush mats, built to lean against a solid frame. The other form of shelter is a pit house, mostly used in winter, and some are used all year. The pit house is 1 to 2 meters deep in the ground and built from logs and sealed with dirt and grass. The plateau people were generally free of classes. Each village had one or several leaders, and that one leader was one main village or family chief who had inherited the role from their father. Other chosen chiefs were responsible for specific things like fishing. The plateau people were relatively democratic. All men in the village got a say in all major decisions, and the chiefs were given more power with decisions that could affect the village.
The plateau people had fairly classy societies. Village chief is chosen from his abilities by the elder council. Chiefs could be pursued but can't force his people, and most adult males had a voice in decision making. Men do all the hunting, tapping, fishing, and malfunction in plants from bones, in wood, and stone, and also they do warfare. Women are responsible for preparing of meals and winter storage. They also do the harvesting of the plants and maintaining the house and caring for the children.
The people of the plateau used canoes made of red cedar or a cottonwood to travel in water. They used snowshoes to travel in snow terrain. In the 1730s, they got horses, and that improved their mobility dramatically.
The plateau people strongly believed that spirits inhabited all living and non-living things. They believed that some spirits were good, some spirits were bad, and they were everywhere. They had a strong spiritual relationship with nature, and animals were very important, like deers, coyotes, and horses. The most important religious leaders were shamans. Shamans had special powers to heal the sick, control the hunt, and predict the future by communicating with the spirit world.
In conclusion, altogether, the plateau people used the environment and animals in many different ways. They were also very connected to spirit and animals.